Now on 13 News this morning, new details on wastewater with a chemical residue that's being dumped in a nearby landfill. We'll investigate how that wastewater is being tested.
Plus, summer at the Greenbrier now means the NFL is in town. Lisa Robbins is here to tell you what the New Orleans Saints will mean for a top tourist destination.
We're looking at a top-notch Friday. And then as we go into your Saturday, pretty good as well. But Sunday, there's a wintry mix we're looking at. 13 News this morning starts right now.
We're taking a live look at Old Glory, proudly flying above the BB&T building in Charleston this morning.
It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yes. Good morning. I'm Jack Kane.
And I'm Courtney Kendabi. This is 13 News this morning. So we've got lots of good news for your weekend in the forecast. There are going to be lots of people out and about this weekend for St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. Meteorologist Brian Hughes is in the Storm Tracker 13 Weather Lab now with the latest. Brian?
And the Revelers will be able to enjoy it in all of its sunshine and its glory as temperatures will be right around normal for this time of year. But first of all, we have to get through today, which is going to be awesome. Take a look at Storm Tracker 13 HD Dual Live Doppler radar. Nothing for us to worry about anywhere across the region. We're in good shape. It's 29 in Summersville, 34 Charleston, 31 Huntington, Hamlin, Spencer. Ohio University checks in at 31, and we're at 35 in Portsmouth. Let's plan out your day. We're at 39 at 10 a.m., mostly sunny skies. At noon, it's windy and warming up. Winds be out of the southwest at 15 to 30 miles an hour today, so hold on to your hats. 4 o'clock today, 63. We've got a few clouds across the area. Now, we've got to talk about a few sprinkles moving in tonight, but they'll be done by the time things get fired up for St. Patrick's Day celebrations tomorrow. We'll discuss that and a Sunday wintry mix and a mess that could delay the start of the race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Lots of fans heading down there this weekend. We'll discuss that in minutes.
Now to new developments in the Malaysian airliner story. That airliner's been missing since Saturday, and investigators are now saying they're focusing on the possibility that the disappearance of the plane was deliberate.
Sources tell CBS News 2 communication systems on board Flight 370 were shut down sequentially, which suggests it was done on purpose. On Thursday, U.S. officials said a transmitter on the plane tried to ping satellites for another 4 hours after losing contact. It had enough fuel to fly for 6 hours, which greatly expands the search area. Experts say the key to solving this mystery lies in locating the wreckage.
So what kind of technology is inside your average airplane to track it while it's flying? This is a look inside a relatively small plane. Workers tell us there are a few ways to track these planes as they're flying, and even if they were to crash. Planes have radio communication and a transponder device that communicates with codes called squawking.
Most of the time, everything just relies off of communication, which there's 2 sets of communications in here. You got radio 1, radio 2. So if you lose one radio, you got another radio. But if it gets beyond that control, then you can squawk.
Smith tells us on almost every plane there's a device, the ELT, or Emergency Locator Transmitter. It's located on the tail that will send a signal back to control if the plane were to make impact with land or water. It's a story you saw first on 13 News. Wastewater with a chemical residue is being dumped into a nearby landfill.
36,000 gallons of wastewater from the Freedom Industries spill site has been brought to a landfill in Hurricane. Environmental regulators say crews are mixing the wastewater with sawdust before dumping it into the landfill. And people living near the landfill say they're upset that no one told them this was going on right in their backyards. They started smelling that licorice smell that you associate with MCHM earlier this week. Now that they know that material is being dumped nearby, they're wondering if it could pose them a danger to their family, to their property.
An accident can happen, but once the accident happens, it's up to them to take care of business, and it's up to them to contain it.
You don't feel like you can trust anybody. You can't trust the people that are doing this, the agencies that are in charge of this.
And both of the women you just heard from have gone to social media now to share their experiences. They've posted photos, and they're asking friends to help by calling the governor's office.
The water crisis state of emergency may have ended 2 weeks ago today, but one local group believes it should still be in effect and happening today. They'll hand out water at the governor's mansion. The group is called Mountain Justice, and they'll be out starting at 11 this morning. They'll distribute water on the governor's lawn to highlight the need for a continuing response to the crisis. Water will also be handed out at the same time time at the New Covenant Baptist Church on 1st Street in Charleston.
New this morning, police are looking into a robbery in Lincoln County. Dispatchers say this robbery happened at Meds to Go in Alum Creek at about 2 o'clock this morning. Law enforcement officials in both Lincoln and Kanawha counties are looking right now for a black SUV that was seen leaving that scene along Route 119. The incident is under investigation right now, and we will bring you the latest information about this as it becomes available to us. Also, 2 people are in jail this morning after a meth bust in Lincoln County. Deputies arrested Virgil and Donna Workman at their home in Ranger. Investigators say they found a meth lab inside their home. Both are being held in the Western Regional Jail.
Also new this morning, 2 bodies have been found inside of a burning car in Gallia County. Sheriff Joe Browning tells 13 News the car was found in the area of Garner's Ford Road in Raccoon Township Thursday afternoon. That's just south of Rio Grande. Sheriff Browning says that they believe both victims are adults, but they've not been identified at this time. That investigation continues, but Sheriff Browning doesn't believe the fire was caused by a crash. And a fire has damaged an outbuilding in Cabell County. Neighbors say they heard an explosion after a fire started in Huntington. Dispatchers say it happened in an outbuilding on Upper Glendale Avenue. Firefighters say the roof blew off of an outbuilding, causing the blaze to spread to a nearby hillside. We're told 2 cats were killed in that fire. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
Diesel fuel has been stolen from West Virginia paving, and right now Kanawha County Sheriff's deputies are searching for the driver. Investigators say with the help of surveillance, they believe the man who's driving this truck stole about 1,800 gallons of fuel during January and February. The truck is a modified white pickup. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office.
Last month, a federal judge ruled that Kentucky has to recognize same-sex marriages performed in other states. Now Governor Steve Beshear has hired a private law firm from Ashland to appeal that decision. The attorneys will handle Beshear's appeal of the decision to overturn parts of a 2004 state constitutional amendment that barred recognition of same-sex marriages performed in other states and countries.
West Virginia lawmakers have reached an agreement on Senate Bill 306, also known as the budget bill. Millions of dollars from the Attorney General's fund will go towards settling a disagreement lawmakers had on funding the Aged and Disabled Waiver Program for the Bureau of Senior Services. A special session will likely be called later today, maybe tomorrow, to take up other budget appropriations bills that could fill more gaps in the already agreed upon state budget. Are you ready for some football? West Virginia's premier resort destination is set to host the training camp for a top NFL team this summer.
Lisa Robbins is here right now with the latest details on this exciting story. Lisa.
Jack, Courtney, good morning. We're going to be hearing fans all over saying who dat. There's good news for football fans because the New Orleans Saints will hold some of their 2014 training camp at the Greenbrier. Since 2009, the team has split their camp between New Orleans and a second location. This year, that location will be in White Sulphur Springs. Saints general manager Mickey Loomis says the second location allows players to take advantage of a moderate climate compared to their Louisiana practice facility. It also allows the team a chance to interact with fans who don't live in Louisiana. Saints head coach Sean Payton won't be new to the Greenbrier. During the last few Greenbrier Classic events, Payton caddied for Ryan Palmer. Now, times, locations, and dates for the training camp practices will be released once the 2014 schedule comes up. Jack, Courtney.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to train.
No, not at all.
Plenty of stuff to do. Time is now 6:09. We have more to come here on 13 News this morning. Coming up, meteorologist Brian Hughes is back with your forecast.
Let's take a live look outside now. There's I-64 in the background as we take a look from our Marshall University camp in South Charleston this morning. Going to be a nice Friday.
You're watching 13 News this morning at 6:11. Hockey fans in Idaho say they're victims of fraud when they were sold a $7 beer that was supposed to be larger than a $4 beer.
4 fans are seeking $10,000 in damages in a suit filed against CenturyLink Arena where the Idaho Steelheads play. The 4 contend that a tall, narrow cup labeled a large holds the same amount as a shorter, wider cup called a small. The fans settled on the damages amount after carefully calculating the number of games attended times the amount of brew consumed on average per game.
Well, I mean, think about that.
Now
They sure went to a lot of trouble to.
Well, think about how many games they went to.
I know.
It took them that long to figure it out.
I saw folks tweeting responses to that story yesterday, and they were claiming that this was going on in other places. And for the Pittsburgh Pirates ballpark and everybody, they were saying that they think that's going on in other places too. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of folks checking that out this summer.
Well, you know what you have to do. You have to drink one to empty one glass, and then buy another one, and then pour it into the other, and then buy another one to make sure you can fill the other one up just for good measure. So, anyways, takes a lot of beer to make sure that you're right, and then sometimes you might forget what you're doing. Anyway, 6:13. Take a look at what's happening on Storm Tracker 13 HD Dual Live Doppler radar. Nothing. Yay, that's good news. But tonight we'll have some showers passing through in the overnight hours. So it's the overnight hours when we'll see some rain moving through. We've got 35 Portsmouth, 31 at Athens, Spencer, Hamlin, Huntington, 22 Prestonsburg. So nice and chilled there. Logan checks in at 30 with Summersville, Sutton 29 degrees, Charleston 34. There's not a lot happening here right now. We've got clear skies for the most part, some clouds in the eastern part of the state. But we do have some changes that are going to be occurring. For today, this is 1 o'clock today on Predictor. The wind arrows, the larger the arrow, the stronger the wind. We'll have winds out of the southwest at about 15 to 30 miles an hour for the day. But look at this. After sunset, the arrows get small, the wind dies down. But after midnight, or around midnight to after midnight, some light showers pass through. 7 a.m. you see we stop here, and most of the showers are moving into far southern West Virginia, southeastern Kentucky, and into the mountains. So all these fall apart. Now let me take you on a wider view, and we'll show you what happens. There go the showers passing through. That's about 4:15. So you can see most of those continue off to the southeast, and they fall apart. Saturday evening, cold front moves through, brings us some cooler air. But whoa, look what happens. This is a big storm system. Bristol, Tennessee, rain all day on Sunday, excuse me. So rain for the race could be delayed until possibly late Sunday night or Monday the next day. We're looking at rain mixing over to snow. In the northern panhandle, that's heavy snow that's possible on Sunday. For us, a warm wedge of air will be driven right up here across southeastern Kentucky, southern West Virginia, and into the Kanawha River Valley. So that means that we're not going to see a lot of snow accumulate. Matter of fact, the rain and snow mix together, so we'll see that mixture. But like I said, not a lot of accumulation at this point. 63 for today with windy conditions, 57 tomorrow with the early morning sprinkles, but sunshine for your reveling, for your leprechaun activities on Saturday. But the rain so makes Sunday into Monday, and then dry Tuesday into Wednesday. Rain on Thursday. Courtney?
Brian, thank you. And California Water District is expected to declare an emergency water shortage after a prolonged drought there. Alameda County Water District serves 330,000 customers. They treat water that comes from the State Water Project, but they've had their supply cut off this year. That represents 40% of the district's entire water supply. If approved, that would be a mandatory reduction, forcing cutbacks on lawn watering, banning washing sidewalks, driveways, and other hard surfaces.
Remember that Mississippi fellow who woke up in a body bag 2 weeks ago? Well, I'm sad to say he is really dead this time. Walter Williams died Thursday at his home. His nephew, Eddie, says he told the county coroner, be sure this time. Williams made international headlines, you'll remember, when he woke up in a body bag in a funeral home last month. Williams was taken to the hospital and reunited with his overjoyed family. He had another 2 weeks to go with them before he actually did die. Well, no doubt productivity drops this month as millions of people pick up their TV remotes to watch basketball.
I think social interaction probably drops too. If you'd like in on the March Madness action, CNET's Kara Suboy tells you how you can view the games on your TV, your computer, your mobile device, so you really never have to miss a second.
College basketball fans, the madness of March is about to begin. Like previous years, all 67 games will be broadcast on CBS or a partner TV station. Also, all CBS games are free to watch online at ncaa.com/March Madness, cbssports.com, and bleacherreport.com. If you'd rather watch on the go, iPhone, Android, and Windows Phone users can download the free NCAA March Madness Live app to watch CBS games for free. To watch games airing on the partner partner networks, TBS, TNT, or True TV, viewers will have to enter their cable subscriber information to gain access. And one new twist in the broadcast schedule this year is the final 4 games will have 3 different broadcasts, the main one and then separate ones to cater to the 2 contending teams. Go Jayhawks! In San Francisco, I'm Cara Suboy, CNET.com for CBS News.
Even though WVU and Marshall won't be in this year's NCAA tournament, 68 other schools will. You can find out who will be invited right here on WOWK. You can join us Sunday at 6 o'clock for the Selection Sunday show, where the brackets for this year's tournament will be revealed for the first time.
6:17, almost 6:18 on 13 News this morning.
You can also join our ongoing conversation on our Facebook page if you like us at facebook.com/13 News. Tense moments for passengers on board a plane in Philadelphia. We have the latest coming up.
6:20 now as we take a live look out over the city of Charleston. Clay Center right in the center of your picture there on this lovely Friday morning. It's going to be a nice day today to kick off the weekend. You're watching 13 News this morning. There were some scary moments for passengers on a plane in Philadelphia, just getting ready to take off from Philly yesterday.
They had to evacuate down emergency chutes after a botched takeoff. Wendy Gillette has the latest.
Oh my God, the plane is on fire.
Scary moments for passengers on board U.S. Airways Flight 1702 after the plane's nose gear collapsed on the runway at Philadelphia International Airport. The 149 passengers and 5 crew used emergency slides to evacuate the Airbus A320 jet.
Oh my God, my plane just crashed.
The problem started as the flight was beginning its journey to Fort Lauderdale.
230 and clear for takeoff. Track to 1702.
A tire blew out, forcing the plane to abort the takeoff. That's when the nose gear collapsed.
The second we went up, it just came crashing down, and it was like, and then everyone started screaming.
You know, felt the smoke, right? You smell, and then they said to evacuate the plane.
2 passengers were injured, but not seriously. Firefighters say hydraulic fluid started leaking, but no jet fuel leaked. Police praised the flight crew for their quick actions after the incident.
So there's something going on the runway here. Backyard 3297, cancel takeoff clearance and just hold in position.
Early this morning, crews lifted up the plane to allow investigators to examine the landing gear. One runway at Philadelphia Airport remains closed. Wendy Gillette for CBS News.
And CBS This Morning will have much more on this live from Philadelphia coming up at 7.
Now, Storm Tracker 13 with the area's most powerful HD live Doppler radar.
Also, CBS will be covering more on that Malaysian Airlines that has gone missing. That airline jet. It has become quite the mess internationally. Here's a look at our weather eye in Huntington. You can see that we've got some nice travel conditions because we've got temperatures warming up today. It is going to be very nice across the area. Same thing in Charleston, our weather eye overlooking the Clay Center. It's a beautiful morning. Temperatures 35 Portsmouth, 31 Huntington, 34 in Charleston, 29 Summerville, Sutton, 21 in Lewisburg. It'll be a breezy day, southwest winds 15 to 30, mostly sunny. Tonight, in the overnight hours, essentially after midnight, rain showers will move in. We'll have less than 0.05 of an inch of rain. As we go into your Saturday evening, a cold front moves through, cools us down. Sunday, midday, some showers move into southeastern Kentucky, and then a rain-snow mix. We're not expecting much in regards to accumulations across the tri-state, even though it will be snowing. The rain will move in rapidly behind that because warm air will be drawn up from the south. But it will be snowing heavily in the northern panhandle, far southeastern, eastern parts of Ohio, and northern sections of West Virginia. Today, 63, mostly sunny. Tonight, showers and 42. Saturday, 57 with sunshine in the afternoon. Jack and Courtney.
Thanks, Brian. 6:23 and more to come on 13 News. Look at this.
Okay, so if this has been a bad week, you want to definitely stay tuned because we have plenty of stories like this coming up that'll just make you say, "Aww." You're watching 13 News this morning. It is 6:26. A trio of adorable tiny tigers has been born at the London Zoo.
And of course, hidden cameras caught the fluffy bundles of fun cuddling up to and suckling from 5-year-old Sumatran tigress mom, Melati. But keepers only announced their arrival Wednesday after a 106-day pregnancy. The English Zoo has yet to establish the sex of the cubs, who are currently being kept inside a special cubbing den.
And check this out. People in New Orleans are getting their first look at a new Sea Lion Pup who spent the last 3 months in quarantine at the New Orleans Zoo. 20-month-old Zoe was born in 2012. Is that her in the back there?
And that little
First came to the zoo in December from New York as part of this policy at the zoo. She has been placed in quarantine, but now she gets to join the other sea lions, Sushi and Lily. I don't know if I'd want to be named Sushi.
Now to Miami. The zoo down there is introducing its first ever mother lion cub exhibit after the baby lion overcomes health issues.
Aww.
He's named after a famous African warrior, and that's exactly what Quasi has been since birth. The cub's presence has little kids roaring with enthusiasm and grown-ups purring with glee.
Zeke the zebra is safe and sound where he belongs at his owner's farm in Bradley County, Tennessee. Zeke was missing for 5 months after a man working on the farm at the time accidentally left the gate open. Gosh, you hear about that happening. Zeke was seen numerous times. I'm sure people noticed him, but no one was able to actually catch him until now. Owner Ron Prince says he'll try his best to keep Zeke safe on his 600-acre farm.
And a baby gorilla was born by cesarean section at the San Diego Zoo and is undergoing treatment at that facility's veterinary center. Zoo officials said Imani began showing signs of labor Wednesday morning, but no indication of progress was seen later in the day, so it was decided to have her undergo the C-section. Look at that little cutie.
Aww. Well, there's your overload of cuteness for the day.
Right. Even though they said she was wearing a blue cap, which makes or blue stocking cap. So I thought maybe
she was pretty in blue, though.
Yeah, she was. I think it's her color. Still to come on 13 News this morning.
Meteorologist Brian Hughes is back with your forecast.
We have new developments in wastewater being dumped in a nearby landfill, and it's upsetting a lot of people. I'll have the latest details in a live report.
Plus, a heavily criticized painkiller has sparked a national debate about the abuse of pain medications. Now one senator wants the FDA to withdraw support from this controversial drug.
We're looking at some nice temperatures today, but grab that can of Aquanet. You'll need it. My barber actually uses Aquanet, just so you know. 13 News this morning starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Jack Kane.
And I'm Courtney Kendavi. This is 13 News this morning.
Courtney actually borrowed mine.
I did have to borrow Jack's hairspray today.
Jack, you use Aquanet?
No, he does not use Aquanet.
Let's take a live look out over Charleston right now. And oh, look, things moving along nicely on McCorkle, also up on the interstate too, and even the barge traffic is moving along nicely this morning.
Still dark outside at 6:32. We're going to head to meteorologist Brian Hughes for your forecast.
Oh, goodness. George, he's a good guy. He has the Aquanet sitting there, and I love it. It just reminds me of my grandmother all the time. Anyway, high and tight. Here we go. Let's show you what's happening outside right now with the temperatures. Portsmouth checks in at 35. Huntington, Hamlin, Spencer, all at 31. Charleston's at 34. Summersville now up to 30 degrees. It's going to be a nice day, except for the fact it's going to be windy. So right now, there at the Cabell County Courthouse, we check out at 31. And by lunchtime, 47 degrees. As we get to 5 o'clock today, 63. It is going to be nice and toasty, but southwest winds will be gusting anywhere between 15 and 30 miles an hour. So hold on to your hats. Make sure that you tie down the garbage cans. If you've got the garbage folks making their rounds through today, as soon as they pick up the trash, make sure you bring those garbage cans in because those lids go flying and man, they're just a mess. Coming up, we'll take a look at some sprinkles for your Saturday early morning and then some rain and snow trying to mix together for Sunday. That's in minutes.
Brian, thank you. We have new details right now on a man accused of kidnapping and second-degree sexual assault.
Kanawha County Sheriff's deputies caught up with Michael Salisbury last night. A criminal complaint states a Charleston woman woke up last Thursday and found a man sitting on her bed touching her. He told her that if she wanted to live, she'd do what he said. Salisbury also threatened her children. He taped the sex and took off a ski mask he was wearing for a while. She tried to run, but he caught her and then took the victim to an ATM and had her withdraw money from her account. The woman later identified Salisbury from a photo on Facebook. He is now being held in the South Central Regional Jail this morning without bond. We're continuing to follow a developing story you saw first on 13 News. Wastewater with a chemical residue is being dumped into a nearby landfill.
And now we're investigating how that wastewater is being tested. Lisa Robbins is here with the details on this. Lisa.
Jack, Courtney, good morning to the both of you. Environmental regulators say it is legal to dump the MCHM water into the DSI landfill in Hurricane. The company obtained a modified permit last month. Freedom Industries started hauling the material last week, and so far 36,000 gallons have been mixed with sawdust, then dumped into the landfill. The mayor of Hurricane wants to know why nobody told him this was happening.
Oh, I'm very frustrated. I just want to tell the people what's going on. Again, sometimes you have to tell people bad news, but that's better than not telling them at all.
The mayor says he wants to stop the hauling, and he's afraid the material could get into the city's waste treatment center, which empties into a creek. Mayor Edwards says the drinking water should be unharmed because the landfill waste does not lead to drinking water intakes. However, some people, of course, distrust what they are hearing.
Yeah.
Naturally so when you smell that in the air.
Yeah, and a lot of trust issues still lingering from the water crisis.
All right, thanks, Lisa. A newly approved pain medication is drawing attention from Washington this morning. Senator Joe Manchin has introduced a bill that would force the FDA to withdraw the heavily criticized painkiller Zohydro.
It's really sparked a national debate about the abuse of pain medications. Zohydro is the first single-ingredient hydrocodone drug ever cleared for patients in the U.S. This extended-release pill contains up to 5 times more of that narcotic hydrocodone than any older pills like Vicodin. Manchin and other lawmakers have argued that the drug could be easily abused without a tamper-proof formulation.
Dozens of people are picked up as part of a multi-county drug roundup in Ohio. Gallia County Sheriff Joe Browning tells 13 News the roundup is the result of a 4-month investigation by the Major Crimes Task Force. Dozens of people were arrested and a variety of illegal drugs have been confiscated. The sheriff says heroin and prescription medication addictions are area problems in both Gallia and Meigs counties.
That's a statewide problem, but it's only going to be solved by local resources, and we're trying to spearhead that by projects like this, and we promise that we are going to continue with these prosecutions and hopefully eradicate the majority of this problem as much as we can.
Later today, Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine will be at the 911 Center in Pomeroy to discuss the roundup.
And West Virginia State Police helped out in a multi-state criminal patrol. This one led to more than 500 arrests. The 6-state project had troopers from Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. 86 of the 542 drug arrests were made in the Mountain State.
Bond has been reduced for a former Fayette County teacher accused of kidnapping. Joshua Taylor was arrested in January. Deputies say he kidnapped a teenage girl from Oak Hill January 18th. Her disappearance sparked a statewide search. She was found the next day and Taylor was arrested near Parkersburg. Taylor's bond is now set at $60,000, down from $100,000, and he is still being held in the Southern Regional Jail.
A former JROTC instructor is sentenced on sexual abuse charges involving a student. Martin Kirby will spend 52 weekends in jail. That's on top of 5 years probation. Deputies say this incident happened in 2010 when Kirby worked at George Washington High in Charleston. Kirby has to also register as a sex offender with the West Virginia State Police. Court officials say Kirby can still live with his children pending a hearing.
Police in Texas say a suspected drunk driver will face capital murder charges after he drove into a crowd of people at a festival. It happened just after midnight Thursday at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin. Police say they tried to pull the man over when he sped through a barricade and into the crowd. 2 people died, and Austin police say 23 others were injured. We checked with different law enforcement agencies in our area to see what their pursuit policies are.
Is it worth taking that chance? Oftentimes, it's not, and therefore we don't pursue. There are more pursuits called off in just a split second than ever take off.
Authorities here say they'll try to use roadblocks or spike strips when possible.
Time is now 6:38. We have more to come here on 13 News this morning for your Friday. Coming up, meteorologist Brian Hughes has a check of your forecast.
Let's take a look at the roads right now. This is I-64. Gary's out there traveling. Where did you tell me this was again? Oh, yeah, right there's the Moose Lodge. He's heading east on 64 right now, and it looks like everything's smooth sailing.
Time time is now 6:41. Aw. Zookeepers at Sydney's Taronga Zoo finally got a glimpse of the newborn tree kangaroo on Thursday after 9 months of waiting.
The Goodfellows tree kangaroo is an endangered species native to Papua New Guinea and has the longest pregnancy term of any marsupial at 45 days. Mother Kwakia gave birth on September 4th last year, but Thursday was the first time the baby began to peep out from his mother's pouch. It's the first Goodfellow tree kangaroo to be born in the zoo in more than 20 years. He's expected to take his first steps in late March or early April.
He's hungry. He looks like a little chihuahua.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. Zoo parade continues now.
Oh, yes. Parade of cute animals.
Little taco. He looks like a little chihuahua?
Sort of. I don't know. Maybe a little baby chihuahua.
Okay, if you say so. Ay caramba. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Maite. 6:42 is the time, and a good morning to you. We're looking at a really nice day shaping up across the area, except for the fact the wind is gonna blow. It's gonna blow, 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 blow. Anyway, okay, let's show you. Here's our Huntington Weather Eye, Marshall University's medical campus on Hal Greer. Everything is looking pretty nice there. Charleston Weather Eye, looking right along the, looking just right across the way. McCorkle, and also at the canal, right there at that gas terminal. Everything is looking pretty good. 30 at Summersville. We're at same thing in Logan. Prestonsburg, Kentucky, 22. Moorhead is 34. Well, we got Portsmouth at 35, and Huntington, you're 31. Not too bad. Not too bad compared to what we have seen with some of the teens and 20s of late. Okay, surface analysis. High pressure is just off to our east. The clouds are moving off to the east. We've got mostly sunny skies on tap for the day. Looking pretty good. The wind arrows, these arrows that you see, the larger they are, the windier it is today. So the arrows indicate the direction of movement with the wind. That's a southwesterly wind at about 15 to 30 today. So the winds are going to blow, as we mentioned. After sunset, the winds down. We're done with them. But in the overnight hours, you see some light showers. They pass through. We get some light sprinkles. This is not going to amount to much at all. I mean, we just barely get like 0.05 of an inch, if that. So here's a wider perspective. You see most everybody across the state of West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, southern Ohio gets a sprinkle or so overnight. Mostly sunny skies for you Saturday. Cold front moves through. It chills us off Saturday evening into Sunday. Then look what happens. Sunday, 3 o'clock, here comes the rain. Bristol Motor Speedway, looks like an all-day rain on Sunday. They may not even get the race in on Sunday. Saturday, Nationwide Series, good deal. But warm air is being driven up from the Gulf of Mexico. So it sort of hinders our ability to see some snow, at least across southern West Virginia, southeastern Kentucky, and the Kanawha River Valley until late Sunday night. That's when snow starts essentially north of I-64. But it's really going to snow in the northern panhandle. We've got to keep our eyes on that. But this draws more warm air up going into early Monday morning. So still a wintry mix is possible. I don't think we see much accumulation in the region, but it's something we've got to monitor at least today into tonight and Saturday. 63 today, windy. 57 Saturday with those early morning sprinkles, sunshine for the day. Rain, snow mix into Sunday afternoon, and then we're dry going into Tuesday. Courtney?
Brian, thank you. Keeping middle and high school students drug-free is a goal for many people. It's also the driving force behind the 4th annual Cabell County Teen Summit. Students are motivated to make positive changes for themselves and their friends, too. Teens also learned what to do to make sure they drive free of distractions.
It's very important because we're helping people save lives, and our campaign is to be alert, just drive, and save lives.
Campaign is scheduled for the beginning of next school year.
And Courtney, technology unfortunately has made it easier for some kids to bully others, but now those same devices are making it easier for kids to report bullying. One app called Sprigio asks a series of questions about the bullying incident, then claims to send that information directly to school leaders. We found a similar app called Bully Tracker. They are free for the students, but not for the schools. But one app creator says the money is worth it.
You're never going to be comfortable going up to an adult, no matter what policy is put in place, to tell them, you know, I've been bullied by this person or that person. You're going to feel like a tattletale.
Creators say they can guarantee student information is safe and secure in the app. 6:46 now on 13 News This Morning.
You can join our ongoing conversation on Twitter if you follow us at twitter.com/WOWK13 News. New details have just been released in the search for a missing plane in Southeast Asia. We have the latest coming up.
6:48 now on 13 News this morning. New details this morning in the Malaysian airliner that's been missing since Saturday.
Sources tell CBS News 2 communication systems on board Flight 370 were shut down sequentially, which suggests this was done on purpose. On Thursday, U.S. officials said a transmitter on the plane tried to ping satellites for another 4 hours after losing contact. It had enough fuel to fly for 6 hours, which greatly expands the search area. Experts say the key to solving this mystery lies in locating the wreckage.
A U.S. Airways flight headed from Philadelphia to Fort Lauderdale barely didn't make it off the ground off the runway Thursday. The pilot had to abort the takeoff when a tire blew out, and then the nose gear collapsed. 154 passengers used emergency chutes to get away from the crash. 2 people were treated for minor injuries.
Secretary of State John Kerry will meet with his Russian counterpart in London to discuss the crisis in Ukraine. On Thursday, he told Congress that if Russia annexes Crimea, there will be serious consequences. Citizens in the region will vote Sunday on a move to break away from Ukraine and become part of Russia.
An 8th body has been recovered from the wreckage of 2 apartment buildings devastated by an apparent gas explosion Wednesday in New York. At least 5 people are still unaccounted for. Rescue workers using dogs and thermal detection are searching the rubble. Federal safety officials say they haven't been able to perform a thorough examination for a possible cause because the rescue effort is still underway.
A driver involved in a high-speed chase was tackled by an off-duty officer after he crashed into another vehicle, bailed, and then tried to run from the scene. Arizona troopers pursued Rodolfo Nunez for reckless driving. This chase ended up on Phoenix surface streets. Nunez struck another vehicle, then got out. As he ran down a sidewalk on an overpass, the off-duty officer saw him and tackled him. The people in the van Nunez hit were not seriously hurt.
6:50, and we have more to come on 13 News this morning.
Coming up, meteorologist Brian Hughes is back with your Storm Tracker 13 forecast. This is a live look here at South Charleston's Marshall University campus location overlooking I-64. Lots of traffic on the roads, but everything looks fine.
Yep.
Now, Storm Tracker 13 with the area's most powerful HD live Doppler radar.
It is 6:53. Good morning. I'm Brian Hughes. We're looking at Charleston's weather. I had at Riverfront Park lit up beautifully this morning, and the river's running a little high today. It is 35 in Portsmouth, 32 Jackson, Point Pleasant, Spencer, 34 Charleston, Summersville checks in at 30. Okay, for today we've got a southwesterly wind that we'll be dealing with. That's a gusty wind for the day. 15 to 30 miles an hour. Overnight, rain moves through most of the region. It's a very light rain, barely 0.05 of an inch of precipitation, okay? As we go into Saturday afternoon, evening, cold front moves through, keeps us chilled for Sunday. Look what happens Sunday at noon. There's rain on tap, okay? Rain moving into the region, and then as we go into Sunday evening, this rain will change into some snow showers, but it's going to be very wet snow. And then we have more warm air going into Sunday night that is being driven up from the south and west. So that's going to mean that this snow switches back and forth to rain off and on. So not a lot of accumulation in our area, but way up north, let me tell you something, they're going to get some real good accumulations of snow. Matter of fact, Northern Panhandle has the potential to see half a foot of snow. Okay, our forecast for today, mostly sunny skies, 63. Tonight we're down to 42 with some light showers overnight. 57 for some sunshine tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. 57 degrees will be our high. Now, here's Charlie.
Ahead on CBS this morning, Clarissa Ward is in Malaysia. She talked to a former co-worker of some of the missing crew members of Flight 370. And Bob Orr on the newest clues in the case that could point to a criminal act. The news is back in the morning. See you at 7.
6:57 on 13 News this morning. New details right now on a man accused of kidnapping and second-degree sexual assault.
Kanawha County Sheriff's deputies caught up with Michael Salisbury last night. A criminal complaint states a Charleston woman woke up last Thursday, found a man sitting on her bed touching her. He told her if she wanted to live, she'd do what he said. Salisbury also threatened her children. He taped the sex and took off a ski mask he was wearing. She tried to run, but he caught her. He took her to an ATM and had her withdraw money money from her account. The woman later identified Salisbury from a photo on Facebook. Salisbury is being held in the South Central Regional Jail this morning without bond.
Also new this morning, police are looking into a robbery in Lincoln County. Dispatchers say it happened at Meds to Go in Alum Creek around 2 this morning. Law enforcement officials in both Lincoln and Kanawha counties are looking for a black SUV that was seen leaving the scene along Route 119. That incident remains under investigation right now. We'll have more information as it becomes available. It's a story you saw first on 13 News. Wastewater with a chemical residue is being dumped into a nearby landfill.
36,000 gallons of wastewater from the Freedom Industries spill site has been brought to a landfill in Hurricane. Regulators say crews are mixing it with sawdust before dumping it into that landfill. Also, we have a big announcement for football fans now. New Orleans Saints will hold some of their 2014 training camp at the Greenbrier. Since 2009, the team has split their camp between New Orleans and another location. This year, that will be at the Greenbrier. Times, locations, and dates will be announced later once the schedule comes out.
Who dat?
Who dat?
Who dat? Goodness. Okay, how about this forecast? Going to be nice today, going to be windy though. Winds will be out of the southwest at 15 to 30 today, 63 our high. Now, overnight, there'll be a couple of sprinkles. They'll hang in early in the morning, just around or just before sunrise. But 57 for the day tomorrow with some sunshine. We've got rain and snow mixing together Sunday afternoon and evening. That'll carry over briefly into Monday morning, with Monday's high 40, and Tuesday will be at 56. And you know, I broke my glasses the other day.
I love that.
Well, I've got a couple of pair coming down the pipe. But Courtney, you said I looked what?
I like the top. I think the top pair looks regal.
Regal.
Yes, I like them. They're
Regal.
different. I go with the top.
And the bottom pair looks dorky.
Nerdy chic.
He can pull it off.
Nerdy chic. Nerdy chic. That's a thing.
Nerdy chic.
That's a thing.
Nerdy chic. Okay.
Yes, I like it.
I'll bring in my nerdy chic.
CBS This Morning is up next.